Good afternoon and welcome to the LPN Daily Show for the afternoon of October the 7th, 2019. I'm Drew Walker, the community liaison here at the News. Thank you for joining me. As always, we can be found online at livingstonparishnews.com. $5 a month will get you a digital subscription and an access to everything that's on our website, including news, lifestyle, arts and entertainment, sports, business, opinion, everything that's out there. We are also across social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We do have a new YouTube channel, so be sure that you're checking the right one if you decide to give us a follow and a subscribe on that YouTube channel. We also rebroadcast these or record and upload these daily shows along with our weekly long form podcast. That can be found video and audio versions on our website at livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. You can also find the long form podcast, the LPN Weekly, on podcast apps, including Apple, Google, and Spotify. We'll take a look at traffic real quick. The interstate is kind of the interstate. It looks like there's some major slowdown coming off of the 10-12 split towards Airline. It's still backed up a good bit past Airline, past Sherwood. Once you get past Sherwood, though, it looks like it's going to kind of open up. There is a little bit of a slowdown right before you get to the Denham exit, so be aware of that. Typical hot spots for the day. Jubin Road headed north. It's actually a little light right now, lighter than it would normally be. But I'm sure that will be picking up, headed towards 190. It is a little bit of a slowdown, not as bad as normal. 190 itself at Jubin, there's also a little bit of a slowdown, but again, not quite as bad as normal, but expect that to change shortly. Range Avenue between I-12 and the interstate has its slowdowns, particularly right there in front of the Walmart, headed north. Walker in 447 in Walker, there is some slowdown right around the interstate on both sides of the interstate, both north and south of the interstate. 447 around 190 looks fairly clear right now, as does Burgess. A little bit of a surprise. There is some good news in the weather that's brought to us by brproud.com, our partners at WVLA NBC 33. Right now it's 82 degrees. It feels like 85. It's a little bit cooler than it has been. But tonight it's going to get downright chilly with a low of about 64 degrees, 10% chance of rain. There will be some wind and a few clouds, but we're finally getting a little taste of that fall weather. Next week, for the rest of the week, I should say, can kind of expect about the same. Highs in the mid to upper 80s, lows as low as on Friday night. It's going into the weekend. It's looking like it's going to be really down in the 50s. So fall may have finally arrived, at least for this week. So keep that in mind. With that, we'll turn to the headlines. And I forgot to grab my paper. So going back to traffic for just a second, a section of LA 16 north of Denham Springs will have intermittent lane closures Tuesday through Saturday. That's starting tomorrow, according to the State Department of Transportation and Development. The lane closures are for crews to patch and seal the roadway, and it runs from Fairline Drive, which is near Leah's Tire and Automotive, north to the Lockhart-Magnolia Bridge Road intersection. That's LA 64 is Lockhart and Magnolia Bridge, if you like the numbers. The closures, again, will begin tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and run from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday and Saturday, the closures will be 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. At least one lane will remain open at all times, and we do have a list of alternate routes if you are interested in avoiding that construction on our website. Again, that's livingstonparishnews.com. Fall Fest was this past Saturday, and as always, it was a wonderful time. I was out there for the majority of it. With over 160 vendors, there was no shortage of shopping options, and those seeking to be entertained were taken care of as well. The festival had a full slate of live musical performances under the pavilion at Train Station Park, highlighted by Tyler Dickerson, a singer from Mississippi who appeared on The Voice in 2015. Other performers included James Linden Hogg, the River City Boys, Restoration Sound, the Odyssey Academy of Dance, and Surrender All. Fall Fest kicked off a full slate of fall and winter activities set to hit the Antique Village in the upcoming months as we head into the holiday season. We'll have plenty more on those upcoming events, so stay tuned. We will be covering all of that. Turning to sports now, freshman Ava Pitaro of Walker High reached the high water mark, while a top 10 finish from Live Oaks girls was a moment worth remembering in the St. Joseph Academy Invitational on Saturday at Highland Road Park. This was the cross-country meet hosted by St. Joseph's. Pitaro was the top area finisher from Livingston Parish, taking 19th overall with a personal best of 20 minutes and 4.75 seconds. With 5 top 100 finishers, Live Oak compiled 226 points for an 8th place showing in the girls' team race. Host St. Joseph's was first with 28 points. Kylie Zeller topped the efforts of the Lady Eagles, which also included Sylvia White, Brooke Fontenot, Ava Forrest, and Jenna McGee. One more look at traffic real quick, and it looks like not too much has changed. Looks like there is that slowdown on I-12 is getting a little bit shorter right now, right before you get to Denham. So again, once you get past about Sherwood, the interstate kind of opens up a good bit. Range between I-12 and 190 is still fairly congested in the typical hot spots. But other than that, not much has changed, including Juban, which is there's still some slowdown right at the light, but it's not as bad as you would normally expect it to be. So that's nice. The weather again, 82 degrees, feels like 85. Tonight a low of 64. Some sweater weather coming. This week it's going to be pretty nice all week until you get into the weekend. There will be some chance of rains on Friday, but it's also going to bring some cooler weather with weekend lows in the 70s, weekend highs, in the 70s and lows in the 50s. So that'll be nice. Again, you can find us all day, every day online at livingstonparishnews.com. We post on social media throughout the day, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. And again, remember that our YouTube channel has changed. It looks similar. It's a little bit difficult to find, but please make sure that you're finding the right YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you can contact us here at the office, and we can help you with that. You can catch these rebroadcasts online at livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We have audio and video versions of both the Daily Show as well as the long-form podcast, the LPN Weekly. The LPN Weekly can also be found on podcast apps, including Apple, Google, and Spotify. So once again, thank you for joining me for the afternoon show today. I am Drew Walker, the community liaison here at the News, and I will see you next time.